Happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Alex, firstly, how's life in Nice treating you? We've been told it's uncharacteristically warm for this time of year.
Yeah, it's been lovely. We trained this morning and sun came out and for the lads to rush inside and get some sun cream on. But no, it's great. It's great preparation for later on in the year when we come down to Nice for the World Cup. It's important to see the town and the training base and just live life as a squad on tour that will have similar pressures and challenges that you have during the Six Nations. So it's great to spend some time together. It's great to come back here on the back of a win from Rome. And yeah, look forward to a good training week and head up to Paris full of optimism.
29 points, 4 tries on the weekend. Yeah. From an attack coach's perspective, what pleased you most about that?
Just the way the players led on the field, especially in that first half. I thought we started the game really, really well. We didn't let Italy impose their game. They've been very, very dangerous over their course of their tournament. And then when we got the lead, obviously Italy came back into it. We saw some pretty scary moments in that second half. But that's the quality of the competition, it's the quality of Italy. And I think we thoroughly deserved the win. And some guys really stood up. And to be honest, we've been under a little bit of pressure. The tournament hasn't on the way we would like the first three matches. And to win away from home in the Six Nations is massive. So huge amount to learn from. Not perfect by any means. I thought the first half was a real step in the right direction.
Some changes enforced upon you this weekend. Ian Williams out.
Yeah.
How will you replace him? Is Josh Adams fit at Lee halfback?
Yeah. There's a few knocks and bruises. I think all the teams are going through similar challenges. You look at the squads. So obviously Liam's out. I thought he was tremendous at the weekend. So brave. A couple of big moments, especially in the aerial battle where I thought he really, really stood up for us. And unfortunately, he's picked up a knock. But we've got some options to play at 15, and we're looking at those options now. We want to get the balance of the team right for Saturday.
So Josh had a knock to the knee. Is he good to go, or will he just be assessed?
Yeah, fingers crossed he's good to go. We've already lost, Alex as well on the wing. We don't lose any more players, but he's looking pretty good.
And Dan Bigger, he was out of contention for selection last week. Is he back in?
Yeah, that's the plan as well. He plays his club rugby in France, so he knows the culture and what it means to the French people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully having him ready for selection Saturday.
And you've spent a bit of time in France too at Clermont and more recently at Montpellier. What are the changes you've seen? They inflicted England's biggest loss at Twickenham on the weekend. 4 years ago, it was quite a humiliating defeat for them. What have they got right in their rebuild?
Well, since the last World Cup, they've basically really given time to the young generation of players. I think they're under 20s, been very successful at Junior World Cups over the last 3, 4, 5 years. I think those players have come through now. They're reaping the benefits. A lot of that team's in the mid-20s. They've all got 30, 40 caps, and a lot of them based around the spine. Loose team. I think they've got a good coaching set up. Obviously, a good friend of ours, Sean, is their defence coach. I know Rafa even there as well, their manager. I played with him at Wasps. And Fabien Galtier is one of the great thinkers in French rugby. So it's sort of all coming to pot at the right time with the home World Cup just around the corner. And with probably the greatest French performance ever at Twickenham on Saturday. So there's a huge amount for us to learn. But we go to Paris full of optimism, and we'll put everything into this performance for the Welsh people, because I saw how many Welsh fans were in Rome. I was blown away by the support. Hopefully gave them something to celebrate over the weekend. And we want to do the same in Paris on Saturday.
It's interesting, Borthwick, post-match, you said, you look at their team and they're packed full of power. We had a plan to mitigate that power that we couldn't execute. When it comes to your plan, I guess, what are the key areas you'd be looking at this?
Yeah, they're incredibly physical. Area they won hands down against England. I don't think England had an area in the game where they could get a foothold. So we're going to learn from that game. I'm not going to give too much away in the interview now, but we'll have a plan, and it's up to us to get it right and execute it on Saturday.
Just finally, does anything change when you go up against the Sean Edwards defence from your preparations to?
I played under him when I was at Wasps. I know he's a great man, Sean. He's very special to me in my life and my rugby career. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. Well, it's just funny how life pans out. Now I'm an attack coach against his defence. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
Rob, coming to you.
Alex, you talked about Sean, but you'd have known Penno at Clermont, wouldn't you?
He arrived after I left, unfortunately. He came from Brive. He's been at Clermont 9 years, and I left 10 years ago. So yeah, he's a quality player, and I think that's probably France's greatest strength is their broken field running when the game gets unstructured. Dupont's probably in the form of any scrum half I've ever seen. His ability to flick the switch from defence to attack is sensational, really. But they've got players across the board that if you allow them and you give them time and space, they can make an afternoon very difficult, as we saw at Twickenham.
I guess the thing is, you can go out there and just say, well, we'll do the same jouet sort of thing and throw it around. But if you do that, you probably become more prone, don't you? Yeah, I think we respect the opposition you're playing against, but understand that the strengths that we have as a team. And, you know, as I said, I think the first half in Rome was where we want to be. And the challenge now is for us to do it against, you know, the number 2 team in the world for 80 minutes. You know, we understand the challenge ahead, but I think the boys are going to rip into it. I really do. And what about the 2 young centres? You know, you've seen them in 2 games now. I mean, what advances are you seeing there? And do we see a pair for the future? I think they've been brilliant. It's not easy international rugby, and for 2 20-year-olds just to go in once against England and then Italy. They've learned a huge amount already, and they're going to form, you know, the nucleus of the midfield for Wales going forward. So you know, no fears going into Stade de France against the French centres? No, well, Ficou and Dante are probably the best combination in the world at the moment. Both sides of the ball, they're physical, they're skillful, they're fast, they're powerful. You know, France is a quality team. They've got, you know, they haven't got many weaknesses. So if you're a young player now and you're playing France, I mean, what a great game to put a marker down and see where against the you know, world-class opposition. Great, thank you.
Okay, and then coming to Andrew for a couple.
Morning, Alex. Just on Dupont, you've been around the game a long time yourself as a player and a coach. Have you seen a player like him who's able to influence the game in the way that he does? Because he's quite extraordinary, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's deceptively strong. So his ability to get out of situations where you think you've cornered him and then suddenly there's an offload and French get into their flow is quite remarkable. His skill set's phenomenal. His ability to see things before they unfold for other people, phenomenal. The 50-22 he did on the weekend was a case in point. Yeah, I mean, I suppose Dan Carter in his prime when he played for the All Blacks has had a similar sort of influence on games. But Dupont certainly is a player that is right at the top of his game. And you know, I spoke to a few friends who were at Twickenham on Saturday, and they said it was a pleasure.
Just finally for me, Alex, your own 9 wasn't too shabby on the weekend, Rhys Webb. Can you just talk a little bit about his influence on the team? Because he really led from the front, didn't he, on the weekend?
Yeah, he was absolutely great. Real leader. He had real clear direction to the forwards about what he wanted. His kicking game was spot on, his game management, his passing. And Rhys he's come in, he's got a real spring in his step, and he's really enjoying this sort of next sort of part of his career, I suppose, because he hadn't played for 6 years. And he's relishing the opportunity to play in Paris. So I'm really pleased for him because he's a top man, and he really helped us get the victory on Saturday.
Great, thanks, Alex.
Okay, we've got time for 3 questions with you, Matt, and then the live will end.
I've just got one, Alex. I noticed that Chris Chun's name wasn't on the squad list. That might raise a few eyebrows. Can you just elaborate on why he's not part of the squad this week?
To be honest, I think he might have picked up a knock at Exeter, but I don't want to go into injuries if he has got one.
All right, no worries. Thanks.
Okay,
Cheers,
thanks
guys.
all.